she is I'm going to let her run with it. She actually worked with the developers on this app. And so I know it pretty well, but she knows it better. So I thought it would be better just to bring her in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for having me. So I'm going to be sharing my screen with you all. It'll be just 1 second while it gets connected. But if, like Barbara was saying, this application, it is new to the Colorado market. So we are the only title company that has it. And it is just like an all-in-one application. It is awesome because now you don't have to go to Realist to pull a mailing list, Remind to pull a high sell score on a home, and mortgage information. It's showing you everything in one place. So you're seeing property data, mortgage data, and MLS feed all in one place now. So it'll be just 1 second while I get connected here. Here we go. So let me know once you can all see my screen. I'm going to be sharing my iPhone screen because, you know, you guys are always on the go, or maybe you're getting a call from someone and you really quickly want to be able to pull it up on your phone and, you know, find out how much they're going to net on the sale of their home, as just an example. So this is my home screen. Once you get access to an account, which you do have to request through Barbara directly, it's going to take you to your home screen, which is going to be where all your updates are. So you've got, you know, your updates today. If you start saving or tracking a property, for instance, it will show you if there's any update to it. So if they refinanced it, it will show you there was a deed recorded. If they sold it, it will actually let you know that the property just sold and the date it sold, as well as the price that it sold for. So it's a nice way just to keep track of, you know, past clients or potential prospects that you're trying to go after for a listing. Then you have your old updates here, and that's for both farm and individual property. You're getting updates. And then anything that you pin is going to be here as well. And then along the bottom, besides your home screen, you have the search property screen. And this is where you're going to be doing the most of your work from. So this is where we're going to do most of our demo out of. So the property search is nationwide. So it's got property data, mortgage data, and MLS feed nationwide, and it's updating every single day. So every 24 hours, you're seeing these updates for new recordings, whatever it is. So it's very, very accurate, especially with the loan payoffs. And then you can search up here by either address, owner, or city, state, zip. And it's similar to, like, you know, any Google, it's trying to guess what you're actually looking for. So when you start typing in, you know, whether it's a homeowner's name or a property address, it's trying to guess what's near you on the map. So I'm just, for example, putting 784. So it's going to show me all of the property addresses near me in Denver that have a 784 address. And then you've got owners below that. And then at the very bottom, you have any places with that zip code in it. So since we're not looking to go to Texas, let's just select one of these. Done. So now here I am in Denver, and I'm on the property address. You can see right here. It's off market, but for now, I'm going to start zooming into the map because if it's an area that I'm farming or I'm really familiar with, I recently sold, you know, several properties in it, or it's your own neighborhood, you can start zooming in and these property labels will actually pop up so that as you're moving around the map, now you're seeing the street number on every single parcel. And it includes property data for all property types. So if you work with developers and they're looking for vacant lots or old commercial buildings, you can search that way. You can also look at single family only, condos, townhomes, etc. If you want to view the property label by something else, there's a few other options for you. So the layers button, which is just below the location services, it allows you to switch out the property label by street number, property value, or owner name. So now I'm moving around this map and I can see the estimated current value on each home. Anything that has a green button means that it's active in the MLS. And then the red ones are hot properties. As you can see down here, if we select the hot properties only button, it will filter just those properties out. So what is a hot property? A hot property, and I'll zoom out so you can see how many there are, is a high turnover potential home. So if you are looking for listings in the Colorado market, which I believe that everyone is looking for listings right now, These are a great target for you to go after because there's an algorithm built around past sales trended forward so that these properties are more likely to turn over in the next 6 to 12 months than their neighbor, basically. So they have a high sell score. If you are familiar with the Remind sell scores, um, anywhere between 700 to 800 I have seen. So it's based off of many, a lot of different data, but some of the key points are how long they've been in their home and how much equity they have in their home. So, and you'll be able to actually see the dollar equity once you dive into the actual property. So we will take a look at one of these properties just to see what's happening here. So this is off market. All of the hot properties are off market, single family homes, owner occupied. So you can see right away the current estimated value of this home, 1.5 million, bedrooms, bathrooms, all pulling from the county records, the assessor data. It's a hot property, so it's a great target for you to go after if you're looking for listings. You can see how long they sold, so almost 5 years, the last market sale price, and then the estimated equity. And that estimated equity is actually calculated based off of if they were making regular loan payments from when they originated the loan. So if they refinance, so these guys, they bought their house 5 years ago. If they refinanced in the last year or whenever they refinanced recently, it will actually show that and it will calculate that into the estimated loan balance. You've got your overview, property facts, and all of this data is pulling from the county. So if you're familiar with home books, these are very similar to that, but it's got a little bit more data in terms of the mortgage side. So we have property facts, parcel, subdivision, and then open liens at the bottom. So they have one open lien. You can see it was from 2016, so they have not refinanced, and their last market sale. Below that, you have ownership information. Again, you can click to see more ownership information. So once you start playing with the application, I really suggest just diving in and looking at the properties and just finding out everything that's included in it, because eventually you'll be able to pull all of this out into, your own farm report or mailing list. You can see that it's owner occupied, and they're joint tenants, open liens. If you would like to, you can dive in and really take a look at the past transaction history, and it's pulling from the county records again. So it's, I've seen up to 30 years of transaction history here. And this is great for you guys because, things pop up sometimes on an O&E that you are not aware about, or even your sellers. Like, for example, we had one of our agents who was getting ready to list a townhome or condo recently, and she had this application and she got onto it and sent the property report to her sellers, and they were like, we don't have that loan on our property anymore. We paid it off in 1999. So they were able to get that taken care of and find the payoff and get that released long before they even decided to list it. So it just puts you, a little ahead of the game. And you can see here, there's a lot of transaction history. Back to the main page, we have property values. So see more property value details. You can see that estimated AVM, and it's a pretty industry standard AVM model, similar to like what CoreLogic might give you or Black Knight. And then you can select to view comparable properties. Did you have a question? Anyone? If there are no comps pulling from this, it's because the way the system pulls comps is based off like a plus or minus like 10%, something like that, in terms of value or sold price, as well as square footage, that sort of thing. And you guys know better than we do, the market is crazy
TikTok,
right now.
I get it. You want me to shake my ass a little bit?
So you can change the filters for the comps. So you can add, radius, you can add the last day sold, the price range. Typically I, increase this as high as I can go because of the price that properties are selling at right now. Property basics, all of this you can update as you need to. And because this information is pulling from the county, it's not necessarily going to have, the same bedrooms and bathrooms that you would typically see in the MLS. So it's nice to be able to see these comps and increase those bedrooms and bathrooms a little bit because, the MLS is typically just a little different depending on how recent the assessor data is. So you can see all the comps here. You can also view them on the map, which is awesome. Now you're looking at how close those comps are compared to the property that you're looking at, which is the blue one. It's always going to be the blue one. And then you can also sort those comps by most recently sold, square footage, all of that, highest value, etc. And this is all going to pull into your report at the end, so you can customize those comps as you need to. And then the other thing is it gives you a snapshot right away. You're seeing not only the, the AVM, but you're also seeing the Zillow estimate. So you can go into your listing appointment prepared saying, I know Zillow says that your property is worth this much, but it really isn't. And I can show you the comps to back that up. Back to the main screen, we have our property taxes, which are pulling again from the county. Foreclosure activity, if there is any, it will show yes, and then see more foreclosure activity. So you can always go into the next screen to see those recordings with the public trustee. And then we have our area insights for the zip code that the property address is in. So these are great for your buyers if they're looking to purchase a property. You want to send them this report just so they have, a little bit of background on the area. And then at the very bottom, you are able to look at the property on Realtor.com, Zillow, or Trulia, take you to the web listing right away. So you can see, what their estimated value is on the property, what they might think the bedrooms and bathrooms are if it's a little different from the application or the assessor. And then at the very bottom, you can customize and share your net sheet. So this is great because now it's pulling that loan payoff and the current estimated balance directly into the net sheet, so you don't have to ask your sellers. I mean, I don't know what my estimated loan balance is on my own home. So it's just one less thing for your sellers to, that you have to go and seek from your sellers. And you can prepare this in seconds and then text it iPhone to iPhone or email it off to your clients. You can save it, print it off, bring it to them. It's pulling all the information directly from that property report that we saw. So this sales price is based off of the current estimated AVM. So if it's under contract and you're purchasing it at a different price, or they're getting ready to list it at a higher price, you can edit any of these fields and the numbers will update as you go with it. So you have an estimated closing date of 45 days out, total broker fees at 6%, which again, you can update and edit if you need to. Payoffs, like I said before, it's pulling directly from that estimated loan balance, and the interest rate for closing as well. And then taxes is prorated based off of the last year's taxes. We have our closing costs, which are our First Integrity Title Chicago title rates, pre-populated into this. So the escrow fee, the $360 is actually our closing fee. And you'll see here that it's actually split between buyer and seller. So they're really just paying the $160. And then any other fees you need to add at the bottom, you can. Really quick and easy. Share it. You get to customize who you're sharing the report for. And once you get set up, we're going to set you up with your contact information in it. So all you have to do is upload your logo and headshot. After you upload it once, it will pull through on every single report that you share. So then you don't have to do it every time. Select the preview button, and then within seconds, now you have a really clean, easy to read seller's net sheet with your information, the property address, all of that information, net proceeds, and those fees broken out for you. Super simple to read and really clean. And then you can share that by text or email. Did you guys have any questions on this net sheet or the property report?
I don't. This is great.
Isn't it awesome? It's just everyone who starts to use it is like, oh my gosh, I use this every single day now. So in addition to this, you can customize and show a buyer's estimate. And with this, since it is First Integrity Title's fees in it, you'll want to make sure, obviously, that they're closing with First Integrity, first of all, the listing is. And if they aren't, you can always customize if you happen to know which title company they're closing with and you have the fees available or you get them from the escrow officer, you can update that, and then you can update any of these other items as well. And it's going to do the exact same thing, ask you to customize it, and then you preview and share it just like we did with the net sheet. It's super easy and simple. So going back to the top, the other thing is, in addition to sharing that net sheet, you can share the actual full report. So you can pick and choose which parts of the report you want to share. That transaction history is typically, if it's, 30 pages long, you probably don't want to share that. Or if there's no foreclosure information, you might want to remove that as well. And then again, you're customizing who you're sharing it for. Now you can print it. It's really clean and easy to read with your information on it. Bring it to your listing appointment, email it to your buyers who are looking at a property. right here for you with your information on it within seconds, and any comps that you pulled as well. So easy and clean to read. Any questions on that part?
Joey, I have a quick question for you. So if you were going to remove a page on that,
Mhm.
how do you do that?
Oh, so right here, you just uncheck and
Oh,
check those
right.
parts.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. And then the last piece of this in the property report is that you can now save and track properties. So if it is a hot property, for example, it's in your neighborhood, you know, you've been talking to your neighbor and they're thinking about selling, but on the fence, want you to reach back out. Now you save it and you track it. So anytime there's any update, if they, for example, decided to refinance instead of sell, but didn't tell you, you would know that because you would get the notification when they decide, when there's that new deed reporting. So we'll just save and track that for fun. So anytime you save a property, it will come up as a little heart on your screen, and it's going to be saved in this upper right hand in your save. So you've got properties as well as your farms. So I'm tracking all of these farms and properties. So once you are familiar, you're playing with it, you have an area, if you're new to farming or you're looking for a new area to farm, or you just want to find out more about the current farm area that you're working, the great second piece of this is that you can now pull all of that information into a mailing list. So you can pull just the hot properties. If you want to target just those, you can, target the homeowners that have been in their homes for over 10 years. Really just focus your marketing message so you're not blanket marketing an entire farm area anymore. So once you're on the map and you're, in the area that you actually want to be pulling that farm list from, if you're on your iPhone, you can pull up to 2,000 addresses at a time. If you are on your desktop, which you can be on either one, the desktop version, you can pull up to 4,000 leads at a time. So it's a lot of information. So once you're here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the area and you're selecting this little wheat tool. So the third one down below the layers and below location services. Select the wheat tool, and then it will ask you if you want to draw your own farm on the map or if you want to upload a farm. And the upload farm feature is more of a past CRM or past sold, for example, maybe past buyers. You want to upload that list and find out if they're still in their home, or you want to find out if they're now a hot property or how much equity they have, that sort of thing. So we're going to select the draw farm. And it pulls the map into 3D mode. So now I'm going to select, and you're just holding your finger down on the map and drawing where you want to pull those addresses from. If you're on your desktop, you're going to be clicking the different points of the map. But this really allows you to target exactly the little pocket of neighborhood that you want to go after. So you don't have to pull the entire subdivision of, 2,000 homes anymore. If you know exactly those street boundaries, now you can really dive in. So I'm going to update this a little bit, and you can see as I'm updating it, it's updating the number of properties in that area. So up to 2,000 is fine before it cuts you off. And it will let you know in big red letters if you're over the 2,000. So it's really easy. You just hold down these white buttons and expand, whatever you need to do. So we're going to select the preview button. When you select the preview button, after you've drawn your map, immediately you're going to get a farm score. So this is a farm score of that area that tells you, how good of a neighborhood it is for you to target. Basically, it's got the turnover rate, and that's really important because if it's 2%, it's probably not the best use of your time to go after homeowners there because they're not looking to move. So you see the total number of properties, the number that are renter versus owner occupied, the hot properties. So there's 149 in there that have a higher chance to sell in the next 12 months. And then you have your turnover. You select the save button and you're going to save your farm, and you can save as many as you need to. So, label them whatever neighborhood. I'm just going to label this test. And then it will pull up a little bit more data about that farm area. So we've got, like we saw on the previous screen for the farm score, but now you also have, if you scroll down, a little bit more information. So the average length of stay, the number of homeowners that have positive equity, so 97%, average equity, average valuation, as well as average age of property. So these are, older homes that are in the downtown Denver area. If everything looks good here, you can select the export button and it will export to an Excel file for you with all that data we just saw. If you want to filter out specifics, the third circle down in the upper right-hand corner is the filter button. So now you can select those properties that you want to filter out into your own Excel tab. So maybe you're looking for only hot properties that are, they're already off market, but only single family, owner occupied, and maybe you want homes that only have over 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms for a buyer, or more than more than 1 story, or just 1 story, those sort of things. And then below that, we've also got the ability to filter out specific mortgage information, but this is, typically for our lender side, or if you're partnering with a lender, you guys can really focus your marketing message on those homeowners that have, for example, over 5% interest rate, because again, they're probably more likely to sell if they have a really high interest rate and haven't refinanced it. So we are going to reset these just for now, and I'll show you what this looks like when you export it. So export farm, and now all of that information is going to export to this Excel file. When you save these, it will be saved in your desktop version as well. So you can, draw it on your phone if you're on the go, and then access it later on your desktop and download it from your saved folder there. So immediately you have your farm overview in the main tab, like we saw before, just that quick farm score information. The second tab over is your complete farm. So it's got that 1,500 properties that we drew, sorted by assessor parcel number, and it's got all that information we just saw on the property report. So you have owner 1 and 2 name, property address, mailing address if it's non-owner occupied. You have the property type, the subdivision, what kind of property it is, if it was recently sold, the market status, or if it's actively listed, it will let you know what that active listing price is, as well as the agent if you look at the property. The assessed value, so assessor data, properties, and then at the very end, you have your last sale price, estimated current equity based off of their estimated value, and that loan for open lien 1 and 2, if they have a second lien, a HELOC or something. So it's got a lot of data in here, and it's a lot of information to digest. So I just suggest once you get the actual application on your phone, just start playing with it. You can creep on every single neighbor in your neighborhood if you really want to find out what their loan balances are, interest rates, all of that. And then at the very end, we have our mailing address, and then a little portion for notes on those sellers. So in addition to the complete farm, these default tabs that the developers created made it super easy and simple for you to go into. So you don't have to actually filter out renters versus owners or those hot properties, but these are global farm tabs. So every time you export a list, it will always include these tabs. So now you have owner occupied, non-owner occupied, positive equity, no equity, and hot properties at the very end. So you don't even have to do the extra work to take those out. It's already done for you. And you'll see once you actually export this on your desktop that they've also created a table for you, so you can really easily sort and filter out data, because it's already got those buttons for you added into the Excel if you're not super Excel savvy. So there's that for you. If this is something you want to share, you can share it, or just save it and access it on your desktop and download it there. So the other thing that you may have noticed is those customer notes. So I'm going to go into this test farm again. When you're in the farm, you have to actually be in the save farm. You can add customer notes. So if you're on the go, you get a call from one of these sellers you've been marketing to, you can actually zoom into the farm area and look for that homeowner, or you can search their address, switch out the property labels, look for their name. Maybe you're really familiar with the area, so you already know who it is. For example, this person, let's just say they gave you a call. Now you can add your customer notes to it. So it's all in one place. You have your CRM information, their phone, first, last name, email, phone, if they're, a buyer and they're interested in buying it, or if they're a seller or a renter, etc. And if they're a lead or they want you to visit them. So now you're saving all this information. So next time you export your CSV or Excel file, it's actually going to export with all that information in the columns at the very end of the Excel. So the other great thing is now, if you're talking to this person and you want to save it, you can go into the view full property details. While you're on the phone with them, you can tell them all this information, how much they might net on their home, and then you can save it. So within seconds, you're tracking that property. You already let the homeowner or that lead prospect know how much they're going to net if they decide to list with you, what their current estimated value is, all that information in your back pocket. And now you're tracking it so that you remember, you get that, reminder to reach back out to them, or you get the notification if they decided to list with someone else, for example. So that's the basics. Those are the basics of the property report and the farm. Do you guys have any questions on that? It is a lot of information, I know. Questions? All right. Well, you guys can see from here, once you get into it, definitely start playing with it, get to know the application a little bit more. It's really, really user-friendly. The user interface is extremely easy to pick up. I have not had a single problem with it yet. So from any of our clients, and it is available in both our Arizona and Colorado market right now. So it's just really, really easy to use, you guys. It's so much data in one place for you. There's a lot more little things that you can do with it. So if you want to have a one-on-one, Barbara will schedule some individual time with you guys. And then again, if you do want a temporary password to get into an account, let her know as well, and we can get you one issued today.
Thanks, Shelly.
But that was it for me, really.
Yeah, and I think we got most everybody a temporary password. And one of the things I will mention is I thought it was very important that all of you see kind of this overview of what it can do. And where I think the true learning happens is if you reach out to me directly. And I have found that the most effective way to utilize this is to do it over the telephone and let you guys choose the address, and I can kind of walk you through creating this whole package. And once you do it yourself once or twice, you'll be pros.
Yes, it only takes a couple. You will be pros in no time at all.
Yep.
Yep. So if you guys don't have any other questions today, thank you very much for hopping on with us. And yeah, I have this recorded, so if you guys want me to shoot this link out for you later, I can. But otherwise, that's it for me. Thank you,
Shelly.
everyone. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Shelly.
it.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks and have a great day.
Thank you.
I put Barbara's email in the chat box too.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Yep.
So
I think we've had
one
a couple.
important thing to know is that I actually need like email and phone number to order a temporary password for you guys. So if you can make sure to send that to me. And then Bruce, a lot of the training that I do with agents, particularly newer agents, is to kind of help with marketing. And I know you do a lot with them on that. And it sounded like, when I sat down with Rain, it sounds like your and my kind of philosophies run very aligned to each other. So if you guys would like, I put it out there, just would be happy to meet with you individually to help you really understand your true sphere and your market and what's really important in getting started in this business.
No, I can't thank you enough. It's people like you that got my career launched in an effective manner too. And I encourage these folks to meet with, anybody and everybody that they can, and really figure out, who's in this industry to help them and not. Some people just sell themselves on their products, and with Barbara, she's not wrong. It's she loves what she does, but she also knows that, having us go out there and win clients over, it just solidifies that relationship, and that's the only way to do business.
Absolutely. So, well, I was there. Does anybody have any questions for me? Anything that you would like to know? First Integrity Title's been in business 25 years. We're strategically placed locations around the city. We also have executive suites, and then of course, at no additional charge. We can do mobile notaries, mail outs, wherever is most convenient for your client. So we have amazing tools, an amazing company, and we would love to partner with you guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, all right. Well, you have my contact information. Feel free to reach out to me with any of your needs. Thank you so much for having me, Bruce.
Thanks, Barbara. Appreciate it.
Talk
Thank
to you
you.
later. You're welcome.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cool. Hopefully for anybody that's not here on their way, we're going to be shutting down this link early, and then we've got that class in person in the Fort Collins office with Rich on expireds. I'm going to do my best to see what I can record, but he's not recording it or zooming it or anything like that, but I'll do my best to see what I can pick up for you guys. See ya.